Hey party peeps, MangaMan here. I'm busy as hell and the lighting is blue. Let's answer some questions! Our first question comes from Mr. Scoringo and it reads, my question is as follows. Will you review Doro Ron Enma-kun Mira Mira? You had it on a WHAT segment and I would enjoy getting your view on it. Just to let everybody know that I am doing this improv, on the fly, no script. Totally just myself and what I come up with on the top of my head. So some of my facts might not be correct. If they are, please tell me, and I'll make sure I get them right next time. Well, I don't think I have any plans in the future for reviewing it. I mean, it's a good series, but I will give you my viewpoints on it. You see, Doro Doro Enma-kun Mira Mira is actually a revamp of an older series, Doro Doro Enma-kun, which was made by one of the legendary anime and manga creators, Go Nagi. Go Nagi was a revolutionary for going over the edge, going beyond the limitations of modern morale during his time period anyways, and he's one of the few gods of manga that are still alive today. Go Nagi was the first person to come up with the idea of having a piloted mecha, where the pilot needs to be inside of the mecha in order to operate it, instead of being outside of the mecha with a remote control, like Gigantor, for example. Surprisingly enough, he was also the first person to create the idea of the Magical Girl transformation sequence with his Cutie Honey series. Now keep in mind that Go Nagi grew up and created anime and manga during a time period where Japan was relatively reserved in what it showed on television, or in their books even. And Go Nagi was the first one to push this envelope, to really test the boundaries of what you could get away with. His series of Violence Jack is a good example of this. In Violence Jack, it's possibly one of the most goriest, the most brutal series that you have ever seen, especially coming from this time period. I think I'll get into more of Go Nagi in a later review, maybe like a history of Go Nagi perhaps. But until then, let's first continue on with this question of Doro Doro Enma-kun. I like the series itself. Again, it shows the Go Nagi style of pushing that envelope in where we see, well, you saw that segment of what. So, now the lighting is yellow. Oh well. I also like Doro Doro Enma-kun because it features one of my favorite Japanese actors, hold on a sec, looking at the wiki page, Kapi Yamaguchi. I hope I said that right. He's one of my favorites. He also plays the voice of Usopp on One Piece. And I just kind of like his voice. It has that, kind of Mel Blanc quality. He's able to do a whole bunch of range with his voice, I think. And now we're back to blue. I don't actually know what else more I can say about the series. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's for kids, but it's also for adults too. Yeah, good series, definitely check it out. Our next string of questions come from Byro Rules, or Byro PG Rules. I'm still not sure on that. And it reads, questions for next time. What do you think of the character type World's Strongest Man? And what do you think is the best done example of it? Oh, Byro PG Rules. You always give me the most interesting questions. That's a good question. The world's strongest man character type. You see, these questions always have to make me think about these. Are you saying, like, world's strongest man as in a character who prides him or herself on their strength? I'm guessing himself since you said world's strongest man, but it could be woman too. Somebody who is overconfident, that is somewhat vain on their appearance or on their prowess? That's a interesting notion. Or are you just saying a person who is strong in general, that's a good bodybuilder type, that is the symbol of manliness, per se? That is a tricky question to answer, since there's so many answers to that. For some of my picks for examples of those, I would have to say, like, characters from Ultimate Muscle, also known as Kinnikuman in Japanese. Uh, but I think like a symbol of manliness would have to be Kamina from Gurren Lagann. God, I hope I said that right. And but I think the most dubious example of manliness would have to be Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. And I'll get into him in another review, but I say he have to be my pick for World's Strongest Man.
Also, I know you're a fan of Hiro Mashima. I know I mispronounced that wrong, I'm terrible. Have you played a game from the Monster Hunter franchise? And if so, have you ever read his manga based on the series Monster Hunter or Rage?
No and no. I haven't played any of the games from the Monster Hunter series, and I actually didn't know that he made a Monster Hunter manga based off of, well, Monster Hunter. But thanks for letting me know. I'll definitely see that, see how that one goes. It's not that, I don't know, with Monster Hunter, never really got into the series. I only just heard about it like a couple of, maybe 1 year ago when a friend of mine got like the third Monster Hunter game for the Wii. Uh, but I don't really have an opinion on it. I haven't played any of the games. My friends, they tell me that it's a really addicting game. I'll have to take their word on it. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll check it out. But I think I'll first check out the manga first.